Hello, everyone, and namaskar. So, today's podcast is a continuation of the reading of the book titled Idea and Ideology. And this is a reading of the fourth discourse titled Mind, Práṇendriya and Vrtti. Mind. In the process of sanchara, the transcendental entity, Purusha, under the localized influence of his immanent principles, is transformed into Mahatattva, Ahang Tattva, and Chita. In the first two stages, the bondage being theoretical in character, that is, the movement of vibration being unrestricted by the relative factors of time, space, and person, does not come within the scope of perception. But in the third stage, he, under the influence of the static principle, is converted into the objective I, and this objectivated I comes within the jurisdiction of auto-perception. Mind is a coordination of the aforesaid three factors, that is, the Mahatattva, Ahang Tattva, and Chita. In the process of Pratisanchara, the crudest matter, by division and decimation, gets metamorphosed into subtler factors, and the unit mind is created. The stuff of the unit mind is just the same as that of the cosmic mind. The cosmic mind is formed in the sanchara process, under the influence of the innate tendencies, while the unit mind is created in the process of pratisanchara, under the influence of the belligerent crystals of the macrocosm. In the extraversial phase, both in macrocosm and microcosm, the static principle predominates, while in the introversial phase, the predominating principle is the sentient one. But in both phases, all three principles are in existence. Even in Nirguna Brahma, or the unsubjectivated transcendental entity, these principles do not cease to exist. It is the stage of Parashanti, absolute peace, because there the three principles are present in a balanced style. Hence, in Nirguna Brahma, there is no humming up of waves, no clash within or without. Prakriti, the omni-active entity, lies quite in a quiet stage. The transcendental sublimity remains unpolluted. In Tantra, this latent Prakriti is known as Anuchunya Prakriti. This Anuchunya Prakriti is the causal stage of the three express principles and is purely abstract in character. When the Anuchunya gets disturbed, the three fundamental principles start functioning, and as a result of their express swabhava characteristics, Saguna Brahma, or the subjectivated transcendentality, gets stirred in its impersonal exhibition. Saguna Brahma is exhibited through the activities or the activating potentialities of the three expressions of Uchunya Prakriti. These three expressions are the fundamental creative principles, and they are Sattva, sentient, Raja, mutative, and Tama, static. They are known as Guna in Sanskrit. These names have been allotted according to their respective functions, and the diversities of the created world depend upon the cooperative domination of one over the other two. In both the sanchara and pratisanchara processes, that is, in the entire survey of the macrocosm, the supreme entity appears to have lost its transcendentality under the influence of these three fundamental factors. Activation of any force signifies a change in position of the body on which said force is applied. Hence, during the creation of mind, certainly a localized change takes place within the infinite space of the transcendental entity. The cosmic mind, though big, is therefore limited, and as such its localized characteristics debar it from becoming absolute. Mind cannot maintain its existence without objectivity. During its course of creation, mind automatically gets an objectivity in the form of the done ego or static I. Thus, the fundamental mental objectivity is, correctly speaking, a projected objectivity. The mind where the projected objectivity presents itself in a collectivated form, maintaining closest alliance with the projector, is called the macrocosm, or the cosmic mind, and where this projected objectivity or objectivities appears to be independent of other diversities and detached from the projecting apparatus, it is termed microcosm or unit mind. So to the macrocosm, the projected objectivity or objectivities is neither diverse nor without, while to the microcosm, it appears to be in diversities and also beyond the scope of its existence. One more vital difference between macrocosm and microcosm lies in their capacities of thought power. The former, by mere vibration of its thought waves, is able to get itself metamorphosed into many, which for the latter appear to be the original actualities of the physical strata. The imaginative process of the microcosm can produce no actuality in the physical world. In case of hypnotism or ghost affectedness, the mental image of the unit mind gets projected and appears to be a fact, but actually it has no physical existence. In the physical world, whatever the microcosm creates with the help of its physical structures is nothing but a chemical or physical transformation of the 5 fundamental factors created as actualities by the macrocosm in the sanchara process. Práṇendriya. During the mental process of extrovert and introvert, there is always a clash within the physical body due to the external pressure of static prakriti. The resultant interior and exterior forces working within the physical structure are known as prāṇa. In the cooperative activity of the 10 vayus, 5 interior and 5 exterior, prāṇa, apana, samana, udana, and vyana, and naga, kurma, krikara, devadatta, and dhananjaya is known as prāṇa. The positions of the endriyas are actually in the brain and not on the external surface of the physical body. There are gateways of the endriyas on the external surface of the physical body receiving tanmatras emanated from the different objects. The tanmatras received through these gateways are converted into psychic objects according to the inherent samskaras of the individuals. The position of Práṇendriya is in the heart, not in the mechanical heart, which palpitates, but in the yogic center of heart, that is, in the middle point of the Anahata chakra. During enumeration, Práṇendriya does not come within the category of indriyas, not only because its site or controlling point is different from that of other indriyas, but for another reason as well. The 10 indriyas function only to perceive tattvas, but Práṇendriya, being the collective name of the 10 vayus, and vayu being a bhuta tattva and a fundamental factor, formed due to crudification of ether, comes under the category of tattvas. Indriyas, therefore, are the activators and perceivers of the bhuta tattvas, and Práṇendriya is more or less a correlated activity of 10 analyzed self-factors of vayu tattva. Práṇendriya plays the most vital part on the physical and psychophysical level. Every activity of the Práṇendriya is pulsative, contracting and expanding, samkocha bikashi. The auxiliary waves of the Práṇendriya flow in a pulsative manner, that is, there is an arrangement of alternative motions and pauses in their flows. It is during the state of pause and potentiality that the chitta is able to receive the tanmatras and takes the form of shapes represented by those tanmatras. Unless chitta takes the form of incoming tanmatras, no perception is possible, because the ego can work only when the chitta adopts a form. This fact becomes evident by analyzing a very common experience. Even if the tanmatra discharging objects be present and the afferent nerves working quite all right, there may not be any perception if the chitta does not receive the tanmatras. If one eats something while walking or running, one is not able to enjoy the taste fully. This is due to the chitta not being able to receive the tanmatras under such a circumstance. One is not able to receive and understand a bhava idea simultaneously with some other physical and mental activity. The secret is with the Práṇendriya. Práṇendriya has got the capacity to let all the nerves flow in the pattern in which it itself is flowing. This means that if Práṇendriya is in the expansive stage and not in the contracting one, every nerve, along with chitta itself, is in the expansive stage, flowing in the same wavelength. The result is that incoming tanmatras face hindrance and cannot activate the chitta. Thus, either there is difficulty in perception or there is no perception. Therefore, even if all the other factors responsible for perception are working quite satisfactorily, the Práṇendriya in its expansive stage will cause the chitta and the nerves to vibrate sympathetically and thereby hamper the movement of the incoming tanmatras. But if the Práṇendriya be in the controlling position or at pause, it creates such a calmness throughout the psychophysical structure that the correct perception is possible. So actually Práṇendriya plays a vital part in helping the organs indirectly to receive the tanmatras, in assisting the chitta to perceive them correctly, and thus in letting the ego have a cognition in that connection. This is the psychophilosophy behind the practice of prāṇāyāma, wherein the sadhaka tries to let this Práṇendriya remain in the state of pause, thereby merging the paused unit mind into the ocean of consciousness, just to have the experience of the supramental stratum. In our daily life, the experiences of soft and hard, melodious and harsh, hot and cold, are being experienced by our Práṇendriya. These experiences do not come within the scope of the five fundamental perceptions of Shravana, hearing, Sparshana, feeling by touch, Darshana, vision, Ashvadana, taste, and Agrana, smell. The aforesaid subtler experiences, not coming within the jurisdiction of crude fundamentality, are felt by the sixth organ, Práṇendriya. The special function of Práṇendriya is to recognize the objectives from different experienced sense perceptions and innate psychic projections. Práṇendriya also works as an auxiliary force in some of the internal mental activities. And with the help of this Práṇendriya, one feels that a particular person is very kind and affectionate, or a particular person is unkind and antipathetic. Such an experience is based more on a subjective feeling than on any outer objective correlation. In certain philosophies, the word bodhendriya is also used for Práṇendriya, but a better term for expressing the essence of this indriya shall be bodha vivikti, and the other fundamental indriyas may be conveniently termed bodhendriyas. Vrtti. Mind is in a state in the process of Brahmachakra. It, being the result of changing positions, is essentially a stage in the process of motion and implies a momentum which it has to express. To find expression, the mind adopts certain inter- and intra-ectoplasmic occupations. These occupations, love, hatred, fear, etc., are known as Vrtti. In other words, Vrtti may be defined as the way of expression of mind. On the psychic level, this occupation is called express sentiment. Sentiments affecting subsidiary glands are known as instincts. Here the term subsidiary gland has been used for any gland other than the pineal and the pituitary. Some psychologists define instinct as accumulated sentiment. By this they imply that instincts are later stages of sentiments. That is, that instincts are created when sentiments get themselves habituated. This is a theoretical definition. A sadhaka, who is a practical psychologist, realizes that instinct is a sentiment affecting the subsidiary glands. These subsidiary glands are the substations of organs whose main controlling station, as already discussed, is located in the brain. For the evolution of Sankalpatmaka and Vikalpatmaka, mind, the mind is said to be Sankalpatmaka when its internal occupations lead towards the great, and Vikalpatmaka when they lead towards the mundane or crude. And for the creation of external waves, the help of the organs has to be taken. This help is also essential for crude manifestation in the physical stratum and other multifarious activities. The subtle brain does not work directly. It requires cruder substations under its control. Waves have to be developed for other manifestation of the internal samskaras, and these waves have to be created in the nerves and in the blood. According to the sanguinary flow and strength of the nerves, substations of the mind go on transmitting the waves. The seed of every Vrtti is in the brain, but the first expression occurs in the substation. waves after being created by the glands or substations of the mind are expressed outside through different nerves. The motor organs work with the help of efferent nerves, but the secret of the working lies with these mental substations or glands. The number of Vṛttis vary according to the complexity of the physical structure. The more complex the structure, the greater shall be the number of Vṛttis. The more developed animals, therefore, possess more Vṛttis than the less developed ones. Generally, there are 1,000 Vṛttis in the human structure. In their development and expression, on the ordinary crude level, they are 50 in number. The collected number being 1,000. The seeds of all those 1,000 Vṛttis are present in the brain. Because of the existence of these seeds of 1,000 Vṛttis in the pineal gland, the yogins have named it Sahasrara chakra, Sahasrara meaning 1,000. The subsidiary glands control 48 Vṛttis, and the pituitary controls 2, Sankalpatmaka, or one leading to Paravidya, knowledge of the great, and Vikalpatmaka, relating to Aparavidya, knowledge of the mundane. The pineal as a structure controls all these 50 Vṛttis, taken internally and externally by all 10 endriyas. 50 times 2 times 10 equals 1,000. Yogis having control over the Sahasrara chakra attain Nirvikalpa Samadhi, a state where they are beyond the approach of all the Vṛttis. Within the scope of these Vṛttis lies the seed of samskara, good or bad. So the attainment of such a state means the end of all samskara, exhaustion of all the previous momentum accumulated by the mind due to its previous journeys in Brahmachakra. This is what is called moksha, union with the transcendentality. May 30th, 1959. Thank you.